Hey, this is Paul Arriola, and you're watching LA Soccer Hub.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the LA Soccer Hub Show. Today, we have another exclusive interview. He is a U.S. men's national team player. He plays now for the FC Dallas, and he goes by none other than Paul Arriola. Paul, how you doing?
How's it going, Gio? What's going on?
Good, man. What about you? How's it going? You look a little cold. You got the beanie. You got the sweatshirt. Why are you cold indoors? What's going on?
Hey, it's cold, man. It's there's like this winter storm that hit Dallas yesterday. It's been cold for a couple of days. I just got back from the grocery store, and dude, no one told me that it gets so cold in Dallas. I should have came more prepared.
Yeah, Dallas. I spent some times in Dallas. Dallas has that trippy weather. It'd be hot one like in the morning, and out of nowhere there's like a could be a snowstorm, a rainstorm. It is the trippiest weather.
Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy.
yeah, you coming from from Washington D.C. You're expecting to get away with it, and unfortunately, I see you wearing a beanie.
No, I know, man. Jeez, I can't get away from it. Apparently.
Yeah. So where does Paul Arriola shop? Where do you get your groceries at, Paul?
Oh man, we go a bunch of places. I mean, right now, we just went to Sprouts, and obviously I'm from California, so uh, I'm pretty familiar with Sprouts. But like the past 4 years being in DC, it's been so different. Like trying new things, trying different restaurants, grocery stores. Like things are just the East Coast and the West Coast is just it's completely different. So it was kind of cool to see. When we got to Dallas, how similar it was to the West Coast and California, a little more homey vibe for us.
Yeah, no, I bet that's an amazing feeling. I want to talk about your time with DC United. I know you wrote on your social media post you were there for four and a half years, and read in it was your decision. Why make the move now?
Yeah, I think um, it was an interesting one. I consider myself a really loyal guy. Kind of how I felt when I had left Tijuana and chose to come to the MLS, and kind of the same when thinking about leaving DC United. I struggled with leaving the club without really having a ton of success as an organization. But at the same time, I know how short a career is, and how important it is to try and put yourself in the best position possible. Because at the end of the day, the reality is that no one is going to look after you like you look after yourself. And especially in a competitive business in the sports world, you can have a ton of friends, but at the end of the day, you have to rely on yourself. And that's kind of how I felt. This was a huge year for me. With the World Cup coming up, the potential to be a part of the squad. I wanted to make sure I did everything possible in my favor in my career, to set myself up for what could be the biggest year of my life, as a soccer player. So for me, it was trying to find the right spot. And I thank DC for allowing me to leave. They obviously didn't want me to leave, and they expressed that. And I appreciate them at least being open. And I credit my agent and obviously myself for pushing to try and get the best move possible for me if it made sense. And FC Dallas was definitely the one on the list that made the most sense as far as style. A coach that is very familiar with obviously the way that the national team plays. He was the assistant coach for the past few years there. He's been a part of MLS as an assistant coach, a team that's very young, a club that is trying new things, trying to become successful and get away from the, we just produce players. I think this club has really high ambitions now, as an organization to be successful. And that's kind of something that I was looking for, and something that I wanted to be a part of. And then off the field, even more importantly, I think it was a family decision, with my fiance and with the rest of my family. I think, it puts us a little bit closer to home, in times that we kind of need to be closer to homes. Won't go too much into detail of that, but it was definitely something that was just as important off the field as it was on the field.
Yeah, I know that must have been like definitely a tough decision. I know with everything you said. I want to see if I could go back a little bit. I know there was rumblings about Club America. I don't know if you could just touch base on that and clear things up, because was that even possible, or what happened there?
Yeah, it was extremely close to getting done. To be honest with you, um, for anybody that knows the Mexican League, and there's obviously a lot of high pressure in Club America, especially right now, with the manager, and I know what it's like playing in Mexico. And the reality is there's a lot of uncertainty in that move, for me, on the field. There was a lot of uncertainty. I'm familiar with Diego Ramirez, which is one of the technical directors there. He was my assistant coach when I was in Tijuana for a little bit under Piojo, and he was the one that was obviously pushing for me to go there, and I had multiple conversations with him. And in the end, it just didn't happen quick enough for the club. Like I said, there was a lot of pressure for them to bring in a player, and it wasn't able to progress quick enough within clubs, and for that reason, it was kind of left out. But it was definitely an option. And anytime a huge club like that, obviously one of the biggest in North America, and debatably a huge club in the world. Of course, I'm going to have my mind open to it, and think about that move, because that would definitely be the biggest club that I would have played for to this day. But in the end, it didn't happen, and the uncertainty of what the future looks like within this year. My goal is to make the World Cup, and that's kind of what drove this move, and this desire to try and find something better for me. And like I said, I think at the end of it, kind of FC Dallas kind of ticked all the boxes in comparison to some of these other clubs that kind of ticked a couple. But the most important for me was to find myself in a position to have a chance to make the World Cup.
Yeah, no, I think every fan in the MLS, every U.S. men's national team fan, I think is excited that you're going to stay in the MLS, and we're going to get to see you. Let's talk about FC Dallas. They made a splash with you. I was surprised, because we've known, outside looking in, I've known FC Dallas as they got all these young kids, young talented kids, and they're able to sell them off to Europe. They got that pipeline, but now since they were able to sell on Pepe, got the Pepe cash, they're able to get you. They got Alan Velasquez. Is this the new era of FC Dallas?
Yeah, I hope so. And I kind of touched on it a little bit, like, when I was kind of going through this process of, is there a move available? Does it make sense? Where does it make the most sense for me? Like, when I tell you that it all made sense in Dallas, I mean, it really did, from the Hunt family, all the way down, to Nico, who's the new coach, to the players, obviously, Jesus Ferreira. I've known Paxton Pomykal, Brandon Serrano, all these young guys who have been a part of the national team over the past few years. All these guys, like you said, it's always been this: we produce a lot of young players, and we want to make money. And I think with Nico coming in as the head coach, it's completely changed the dynamic of the club and the ambition to want to be successful. And like I said, I want to be a part of a club that wants to succeed just as bad as I do. And so I hope that this is a new era, and that we as players, and being a part of the people who produce on the field, we can help change the way that everyone on the outside sees FC Dallas. I think that'll be our goal, and our goal is to obviously win a championship, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I believe in kind of this project and the head coach and the organization. But yeah, I mean, besides that, everyone else has been fantastic, to be honest with you. Everyone within the club has been unreal, super supporting, super welcoming, super easy to adjust to. So it's been great.
No, that has to be amazing, especially you taking that big leap of faith and going with FC Dallas, because we know there's always the young talent there, but now they have a veteran like yourself that's been in league and understands what needs to be done. And I think if any FC Dallas fan listens to this, I think has to be excited for you because we've seen what you've done with the national team, we've seen what you've done in MLS, and I think just seeing this, it just seems different with FC Dallas with all the different splashes. Talk to me about Alan Velasco. What are your thoughts on him? How's the training's been?
Yeah, I'm excited. Look, he's had some visa issues getting into the country. So, in a couple days, I'm sure he'll be able to join the team. He hasn't been a part of training yet, but I've talked to him a couple times, and he's obviously excited, and I think the club is also excited. Like the cool thing about this club is the reputation they have to produce young players. And they still want to continue that, and therefore they're just trying to mix it up a little bit, right? Like they're trying to find that key balance to be successful, which sometimes you do need veterans, you need guys that understand the league, you need guys who have a lot of experience, and then at the same time you have young guys. And so I think for Alan it's going to be a great situation for him to be able to play at a different level, and with a little more pressure on him, with the price tag that he comes with. But at the same time, I think it'll be a great way to help him make a transition, if the club wants to move him on and if he wants to move on to Europe, in the future. So I think it's a great balance. I think he'll love it. There's obviously Spanish speakers, a couple Argentines in the locker room. So he'll be great. And yeah, hopefully on the field, he'll be able to be a key part of the team.
Yeah, I'm not familiar, Paul. Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah, I do. For the most part, just from playing in Mexico for 4 years.
Yeah, the Argentine Spanish is a little different, but we can all understand each other. Talk to me about these new jerseys that come out. For the people listening, I just pulled up this photo of Paul Arriola, the new swagger there. You got the side view there, the back view. How are you liking the jerseys? Give me overall thoughts.
Yeah, they're cool. I've heard a lot of people have a lot of opinions on them. For me, look, it's just the first time I'm going to be able to wear a Dallas jersey, so I'm excited. I heard a lot of people are excited about the hoops, the blue that have run through. But listen, if it's going to bring us more success and make the fans happier, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, they definitely look really sharp on that. I know this is like you mentioned earlier, this is a World Cup year. You got to be in the last World Cup qualifiers. How was that? How was it the last World Cup qualifiers? Because you guys got to play in some cold weather. Yeah, it was a difficult game against Canada, obviously. So talk to me about how that was.
Yeah, I mean, look, World Cup qualifying has been, filled with ups and downs, which is to be expected of. But overall, look, I think our group, we feel confident about the position that we're currently in. We control our own destiny, which is the best part. Yeah, I mean, look, we know these last 3 games are so crucial for us. They're not easy, but overall, I think collectively, we feel pretty good about the situation. Of course, we think it could be better, but it most definitely could be worse. So for us, I think it's just kind of dealing with staying level-headed, focusing on one game at a time, taking care of ourselves. And when it's go time, it's go time. I mean, obviously right now it's, like I said, there's 3 games left. There's no looking past that. And I think it's something that's extremely important. I think a lot of us who have been a part of the national team for a while understand how important these next 3 games are. So we're going to do everything we can to be able to be successful.
Yeah, I got to talk to you about I think you had a bicycle kick, scissor kick against Canada. That was insane. You were pretty close, but what went through your mind? You're like, I'm doing this, because that was insane. If that wouldn't got in, that would have been definitely Sports Center's top 10.
Yeah, look, I mean, in the moment, it's just trying to get a shot off, right? Trying to make an impact. I come on into the game to try and make a difference. I think we were down 1-0. So, for me, I just always try and bring energy, depending on my role, and coming into that game, I knew we needed to bring a different type of energy and try and make a different impact. And when I see the ball pop up, I mean, there's nothing else to think about, just try and focus on getting it, making good contact and getting on target. Fortunately, I made great contact. Unfortunately, I pushed it just a little bit wide, but definitely would have been the goal of my life. Definitely. I mean, definitely. I mean, Greg had told me that if I would have scored, that he would have ran over there and picked me up off the ground. So yeah, it would have been a great goal, but it was just one of those unfortunate shots.
I know you felt kind of awkward initially. I was like, "Oh, is he okay?" But obviously, you're up and moving. You're good here. You're obviously training. Did you feel anything when you fell?
Yeah, I mean, my neck was definitely sore. Like my upper back was really sore. Like after the game, I'm like, man, my back hurts. Like, and then it kind of.
Why didn't it go in?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it would have been way more worth it if it would have went in. But no, thankfully, I was okay. I was able to get up. I was running around. Felt fine. But yeah.
I gotta ask you about Greg. We only know Greg, from when his flashy new kicks is every game, right? And we know what the media says about him. But how is he in the locker room? How is Greg Berhalter?
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. He's he's one of those guys that just gets it, right? He was a player. He played at a high level. He coached at a high level. He's coaching for the national team. He's been a part of World Cups. Like he's someone that kind of understands it all, and he's able to really understand you and kind of side by you, as a player, which is something that's super important. But he's great. He's as a leader, he's great. Not just with the players, but with the staff, the communication that the national team staff has is unreal. The way that they kind of handle everything, I think is really, really high, top class from them. And we all have to give them a lot of credit to be able to make the brotherhood that we kind of had for the national team. If you hear guys talk, we always talk about the brotherhood. When we talk about this family and we talk about this feeling that anytime you get in with a national team, you feel like it's a club team. You feel like you've been around these guys for so long. You have each other's backs. You guys are always on the same page. And before Greg, it didn't really feel like that. And so it's credit to him and the people that he has working with him that makes it so special. And obviously on the field, he's a pretty smart guy. So he's kind of, his brain's always going, trying to figure out what went right, what went wrong, what do we need to do for the next opponent? How are we going to break them down? How are we going to press them? All these different things. Like he's kind of always thinking on the field. So yeah, he's been really, really great for us.
That's amazing. I gotta ask, who's his Nike rep? Who gets him his kicks? Do you know that?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, if you find out, you need to tell me, seriously.
He always got to say he on his field. I'm like, dang, Greg, who? Like, I know it has to be a Nike employee. Like, look, we're gonna get all the attention to the coach, just rocking the kicks, right?
For sure. He loves it too. He loves it.
Yeah. Well, look, the next round of World Cups is against Mexico, Al Azteca. I don't know how the process is with Greg Berhalter, U.S. men's national team. How eager are you to obviously not only be called back, but also play in that game?
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's the three most important games that we have coming up. It's the three most important games of qualifying. These ones coming up, and it's, every player always wants to be with a national team. There's never a time that you just think, let me just take a break, or let's see what happens. It's, I mean, it's time right now to really, kind of key in on these next games to get the job done. And, I was a part of the team that didn't qualify for the World Cup, 4 years ago. So, for me, I think there's even more eagerness and anxiousness to want to be there, to want to have that feeling of qualifying for the World Cup, considering that I was a part of the cycle that didn't qualify. And at the same time, of course, to play in Mexico, I was able to play in the qualifying game last round in Mexico, and it was an unbelievable experience. It was great. When you think about an opportunity to play against your rival team in the rival stadium and playing in an away game, especially a stadium like Azteca, and have the chance to go down there and shut everyone up, right? I mean, obviously, Mexico and the players and the fans, they're eager to beat us again. That they haven't felt this year. So for them, I'm sure they're super eager for us to go down there and expect to win. And it's the same for us. I think it's how can we continue to show that U.S. is better than Mexico, and this is the perfect opportunity for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that game's going to be definitely electric. With the topics of the U.S. men's national team, we just saw McKennie just went down Champions League. I think he may be out for 8 weeks, something around that. I think Gio Reyna just picked up another injury, but it might not be as serious. When that goes through your mind, obviously you feel bad for your teammate, but there's so much competition in the U.S. men's national team, and essentially in almost every single position. But when you look at that, obviously you never hope for anybody to get injured, but this could potentially be a better opportunity for you to not just also make it, but also play. I don't know if you think that way, or how do you process something like that?
Yeah, first of all, I always think like you just want everyone to be healthy, right? You especially key guys like that. Obviously, Gio and Weston are huge for the team and will be huge for this national team going forward in the future. And so for them, you do feel bad for them. You do worry about them and hope that they can get back healthy and as quick as possible. But at the same time, like you said, we have the next man up mentality. We know that everything isn't always going to be great. We know we're always not going to have the perfect lineup or the perfect players in every position, and that's kind of where the brotherhood comes in, and this trust that we have within each other, knowing that everyone can make an impact. Anyone can go on the field and make a difference. That's obviously a part of being a part of a national team, right? Where you have the select best players in that moment for one reason or the other. So for us, it's definitely next man mentality, and you just try and stay healthy. You hope those guys get as healthy as possible, and we get the job done.
That's amazing. I know you played in Liga MX. Obviously, you're in the MLS, and obviously, when it comes to the U.S. men's national team, you got players abroad. There's a lot of people, a lot of fans that make, hey, because this player is in MLS or because he plays in Liga MX, this player is better than this or whatever. But you've played in both leagues, right? But you also have teammates that come in and play for the U.S. men's national that play in the Champions League in Europe. What are your thoughts on the MLS and the growth it's had over the years, and also the players like yourself, like Kellen Acosta and Legit? I know I'm missing a couple that play in the MLS, but also are playing with the U.S. national team.
Yeah, look, the MLS is growing so fast. I said it since the day that I got to MLS. I mean, it's growing so fast, and it doesn't get the credit that it deserves. Which you only change people's opinions over time. And some people's opinions you never change, right? It's only the new people that get a different opinion. But the league is great. It's physical. You ask anyone that's come from South America or Mexico about the physicality, about the rhythm of the play in MLS, and it's a lot different. You'll hear people say it's a lot harder to adjust. It's a lot, playing in different weather is hard. Traveling 4 or 5 hours for a game is hard. There's definitely a lot of difficulty to playing in the league, and it's not always easy. And as far as the level, it's growing every year. You see a bunch of younger South Americans, Europeans coming to MLS to play, to get a different look in their career. And it's great. And then obviously when you have guys that are playing in Champions League in Europe, it's even better for us and for Americans, and especially those guys who have played in MLS that have now moved on to, right now you can name any country really in Europe where Americans play. And so the good thing is that there's a lot of eyes right now on MLS looking at, who's the next Christian Pulisic, who's the next Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams. There's a lot of clubs and scouts looking at MLS now, which obviously shows how important and how valued the league is and these young Americans are, because that's a huge thing, and I think that's going to continue to go year by year, and we're going to see more and more people that are playing in MLS leave to Europe or to different countries to move on.
Yeah, no, and I've just seen the growth, and I think it's amazing. And I think sometimes when people mention that, talk about they're not watching the MLS or obviously playing it like you have, and you have that open perspective. Paul, when it's all said and done, right? What do you want to do with your career? I know you played in Liga MX, you play in the MLS. I know you just got to FC Dallas. But what do you ultimately want to do? Do you eventually want to be able to get a shot at Europe, or what's your overall goal?
Yeah, look, my overall goal right now is to make the World Cup, and if that leads to a different type of move, and I have the opportunity to go to Europe, I'd absolutely do it if it made sense for all parties. I think as a player, you're always looking for the best opportunity to make the most of your career on and off the field. But to be honest with you, right now, my goal has been just focus on 2022, focus on this year, staying healthy. I was injured a lot last year coming back from an ACL. So, I believe that if I could stay healthy this year and have a good season with Dallas, I think I'll have an opportunity to make the World Cup team and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I definitely hope that happens for you, because I know
Thank
how
you.
much work you've been putting in, and it's just amazing to see. And I always just root for the MLS guys, because I just feel like you guys don't get that appreciation that you should get. Because me growing up, and I watched the guy MX, and obviously I watched the Champions League and all that stuff, but I see the talent, I see the development. It's just, it's unfortunate that it doesn't get the attention it does right now, but it's definitely growing. But I want to talk about you. You just got engaged. You got one big move after another, my man. Talk to me about that big engagement, big announcement. Let me pull this up here. How was that experience? How long you been with your lovely fiance?
Yeah, we've been together almost 4 years. And yeah, listen, we've gone through so much in life, man. So many ups, so many downs. And we've always been by each other's side. And I think at the end of the day, when you're able to find someone that makes you happy, that supports you, that shows you the love that you feel you deserve, then that you want to be with that person. And that's kind of the position that I'm in, and obviously that's why she's now my fiance, which we're super excited about. And like you said, it's been one move after the other, man. I went from the national team back home for a couple of days to propose, and then came to Dallas. So we've been all over the place. We just moved into a home that we're renting now, so we're still like unpacking all the boxes and trying to figure everything out. But yeah, it's been super exciting. This has been a crazy first couple of months of the year, but definitely good ones.
Yeah, that's amazing. How long have you been waiting on this? How long have you been sitting on the ring knowing that you were going to do this?
For probably like since last year. I knew I just needed to get things like rolling, and I'm definitely one of those guys that kind of takes waits till the last minute. So yeah, so I was like, okay, I want to do it. Probably in the off season, I'm going to do it. And then when I finally got the ring, I was thinking about doing it right around New Year, and then my whole family ended up getting COVID.
Oh,
So
no.
we were all just stuck inside, and so I'm like, well, I'm definitely not going to do it now.
Yeah.
So then I had to travel with the ring. I traveled with it all around
Wow.
until I got back to California, and then I was able to do it.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Well, I'm happy for you. When's the wedding? Do you guys already have a date
Thank
or
you.
no?
No, not yet. Not yet. We're still in discussion. I'm trying to just try and settle down and focus on
Yeah, yeah.
one day at a time right now, to be
What
honest
is
with you.
it?
But hopefully either the end of this year or maybe the end of next year, one of the two. But we'll get it done for sure.
Yeah, no, that's exciting news, and I'm happy for you and your fiance.
Thank you. Thank you.
talk two bugs. Pulled them up here. What are the names? I see one's black, one's brownish. How long have you had them?
Yeah, the fawn one, his name is Nugget. I've had him for 5 years. And the black one, her name is Penelope, and I've had her for 4 years since they were both puppies. But yeah, they're awesome, man. They're my little kids. You know, they make life so fun, so chaotic, so interesting. You know, so you know that those are our kids. One of them is sitting right here next to me, just laying down in his bed. So yeah, they're amazing.
That's amazing. So how is it owning a pug?
It's great, man. I mean, look, when I first got them, I always thought they were just going to be lazy, you know, and that's it's definitely not it. When they were really young, they've been crazy. I mean, they're just like kids, you know, like they have different personalities. They enjoy different things. Um, and one of them is like really smart. The other one, you know, he tries his best, but he's just like a lover. He just likes to hang out. But finally, we've gotten to that stage where they're okay, kind of relaxing and hanging out. But yeah, they're definitely goofballs.
That's amazing. I heard you're a big golfer. How often are you going to the golf course? I know the season just started. How often are you hitting the drive range or playing the 18 holes?
Man, I just played on Monday. I got my first round in here in Dallas. It was nice right before the cold weather came. It was nice. There's some golfers on the team, so it'll be nice to be able to go play around with some of the guys. But during the season, just kind of depends on how I feel. You know, like I could go once a week for a couple months, or I can end up not going once for once every 2 months. Just kind of depends on how I feel, how my body feels, what the season looks like, all those things. So, but yeah, I definitely enjoy it in the off season. I love to go. I even got my fiance to get her own clubs because she was tired of me complaining about being gone for so long. So I said, okay, well, why don't you buy some clubs and we can go together? So she's actually been asking me to take her out on the course. So we'll see. But no, it's been great.
Yeah, it is. For the people that don't play golf, I just picked it up. I'm not any good, but I just learned how to hit the ball because my brother, he's a big golfer and he just plays for fun. So over Christmas, my parents live by like a golf course, and he's just like, we're just so competitive, and he's just talking smack, and I was like, all right. So I spent like 2 or 3 days, and I finally got like the twist and the hit because I was just trying to hit it so hard, but it is just the momentum and it carries the ball. And it took me a while to understand that because I was like, man, my back hurts. I was like, I don't, how do these older folks next to me do it? And like, but I learned, and to me, once you hit a golf ball like you're supposed to hit a golf ball, it is an amazing feeling. Would you
It
agree?
just feels so good, right? It's just
Yeah.
like there's just something about it. That's the thing about golf. Like, you know, you could be bad, you can do awful, but then you have that one good shot and that just like feels so right, and then you just keep searching for it and searching for it, and that's what makes you go again, you know. And obviously, you know, I'm a competitive guy, so it's nice to go out there with some other people and compete a little bit. But no, yeah, like you said, it's like once you're able to hit it, you know, the way you're supposed to, and you'll know that feeling when you do it. You know, like you can't really explain it, but
Yeah.
you'll know when it happens. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I was so hype. I was like yelling and stuff. People just looking at me. The wedge is my weapon. I figured out that the wedge is my weapon. And I could just hit it straight, and I'm still trying to figure out like the distance and all that. But I was like, dude, I don't even care. I can hit it with the wedge, and I'm sticking by that.
That's funny.
Do you follow any golfers?
No, you know what? I don't like. I love playing it, watching it. Like I'll put it on every once in a while. But I definitely don't like it's definitely not like something I'm consistent with and constantly watching. Um my my short game used to be really bad. So, you know, I'd watch Phil Mickelson because I'm left-handed and he's
Oh,
left-handed.
okay.
So I'd watch a couple of his videos on how to chip, you know.
Mhm.
But besides that, like sometimes I'll go on YouTube and watch, certain things, but overall, I don't really follow too much in specific.
Have you been to any golfing events?
No, not yet. I wish. I wish. I know that there's one here in Dallas every year that a couple of guys try and go to. So I'll definitely have to tag along to that. But besides that, yeah, I've never been.
The reason I asked, when I was in college, I went to college in Arizona. The Phoenix Open, you may have heard of it, may have not, but
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
it is a party. Because I remember I went one time, one of Professor Short Story long story short. She's like, "Hey, do you want to come volunteer? I'll give you extra credit." I was like, "Okay, what do I got to do?" She's like, "Just volunteer for this golf tournament." I was like, I don't really like golf." I go there and it is bananas, like bananas. Like people are getting drunk, celebrities everywhere. Like I'm just like, why didn't I know this? Like I was into golf at all, and then that got me into just like going to the event because it was just like a party. It was like a fun
Yeah.
party. You get to dress up, like so. Then next year I came prepared. I got the pants, I got the look, and I was telling my friends like, you gotta come. It is an amazing feeling because it's really completely different from any other golf event because they have like I think the
Yeah.
16th or 18th
It's
hole, and they're
crazy,
like
right?
they're crazy. Yeah, they're throwing beer
Yeah.
and stuff in the golf
That's
course.
crazy, man. That's crazy. That's definitely something that I would enjoy. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I want to ask you. I know you have a few tattoos. I heard you have a Budweiser delivery truck tattoo. Tell me
Yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
that story.
Yeah. Yeah. First, I have a bunch of tattoos. My right arm is done. My back has been done. I think I need to add a little some pieces here and there to it. But yeah, man, like I started. I kind of always liked tattoos. My dad had a few tattoos here and there, and he always talked about like, oh, he wants to get more. He wants to get more. So when I turned 18, I got my first tattoo, small one, just right on the inner arm. And then when I turned 20 to the end of 2017, I went home. This was the first year when I had just signed an MLS, and I went to a guy in Montebello, and
Okay, I know where that's at.
and I got tatted by him, and I just did my whole right arm, and I loved it, man. I loved it. I had thought long and hard about kind of what I wanted, and I kind of thought I want to be one of those guys that kind of has a story behind every tattoo and a reason as to why I get what I get. And so I just kind of have stuck to that and have kind of always waited until I kind of know exactly what I want. And so my back, everything on my back is a representation of someone in my family. I have a really small family, just myself and my younger brother. My dad was an only child, and my mom only has one brother. So we're fairly small and pretty close to each other. So I kind of got something for everyone. And my father was a truck driver
Oh
for
wow.
Budweiser for 20 years. And so he passed away in 2018, and
Sorry to hear that.
that it's okay, but that's like the biggest, that's like the one thing that kind of sticks out on my back is the truck itself. And so yeah, so that's for my father, representation of him. And then I have a couple other things, of course, for my grandparents and my mom, my brother, in kind of my life. And so yeah, so I still need to get some things done, but yeah, I definitely never thought in my life that I'd have a Budweiser truck on the back of my on the back of my body, but I do, and people always ask about it. They love it.
Are they ever
yeah,
like,
it's
take off
super
your
cool.
shirt, Paul? We need to see it now.
No, but you know what? I need to get it done, man. I need to get everything done. I have some space. The problem that happened for me was this was when I was going through my ACL surgery. I was or rehab, and I was just coming back to the field, and I flew a tattoo artist out from San Francisco to DC, and he stayed for 3 days. And I had no tattoos on my back. And after the third day, I had all my tattoos on my back.
So
So,
he's got them all done, all done.
we were just going super hard, man. And in the end, it was like we almost ran out of time where like we got almost everything we needed. but I just need to fill, a few things in. But honestly, at that point, dude, I couldn't take any more pain. It was crazy for 3 days straight. Getting tattooed
Oh yeah,
is nuts, man. I would not recommend it.
Yeah, I could only imagine that. Talk to me. You're from Chula Vista, right?
Chula Vista, yep.
Talk to me. How is it? Because people don't know that's just south of San Diego. It's like right by the border. Talk to me how it was growing up there. Because you played in Tijuana, so I'm assuming your family went there. But how was it growing up? Because back in the day, there wasn't no cholos. There wasn't the MLS wasn't as big as it is now. How was it growing up there?
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's where my family, raised me, and that's where they still live. But really, it's kind of ironic, because you're so close to the border. As someone who is considered white and American and didn't speak any Spanish, like you're really a minority, in
Hmm.
comparison to the city that you live in. Um, and for me, it was always normal. I went to a private school my whole life, when I was young, but I grew up around, a lot of Latinos, and a lot of my classmates, and even, some of my friends growing up, they lived in Tijuana and they crossed the border every day for school.
Hmm.
Their family wanted them to get a better education. And for me, it was always normal. And looking back on it and talking to other people, you understand that it's so unique, to be able to live that life. And then, I didn't speak any Spanish really growing up, not until I started to play down in Mexico. And I would just cross the border every day, to go play in Tijuana. So I'd go to training, come back. I'd go to training, same with the games. My family would go down there for the games. And again, for me, it was so normal until I left, and I understood how weird it is, right? Like to be able to live in one country and work in another country, is something so special, so rare, that you definitely take for granted when you're doing it.
Yeah, it's crazy that you say that because one of my uncles, I don't know if he still does that, but he used to do that. He lived in Tijuana, but he worked in San Diego, at a restaurant. He every day back and forth make that drive. And I spent a little time in San Diego, so I know it's not too bad, but like the border could get backed up, a lot of things. But
Absolutely.
yeah, it is an interesting perspective because not everybody grows up with that unless you spent time in San Diego or around the border like that because no one thinks about like, oh, you got to go over there and live over there, because of
Yeah.
whatever the situation is. But you can come out here, and to you, it's normal, right? You don't know until you start going out other places, and you're like, oh, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, even now, like in the off season, like when I first met my fiance, and she's from Los Angeles, I tell her like, oh, like, let's go to Tijuana with my friends, let's go out for dinner or whatever. And she was like, what? Like, is
It's
it, like,
dangerous.
yeah, is it
Yeah,
safe? Like, what do you do? And I just explained, like, it's like for all of us, it was just so normal, right? Like me and my buddies, like on a day off or something like that, like to cross the border and go down to eat some,
hmm,
some good food. It was just so normal. And then you eat, you cross back, or you go
yeah,
to a bar, or you
hmm,
go to someone else's house that that you went to high school with or whatever. Like it's just like it's almost as if the border really doesn't divide you,
yeah,
and when you're actually living it, it's not really a divide. It's almost just like traffic, in
yep,
LA,
yep,
like
yep, yep,
you're
yep,
just sitting
yep.
there waiting to go somewhere else. So, it's definitely interesting. I mean, we still go, down to Tijuana, and, go out to eat. And I haven't been to a Cholos game in a while, but, if I get a chance, I definitely, will do that soon.
I'm so glad you described it as traffic because I would go there to get other bottle tacos or whatever, and then like one time, one of my friend's mom took me to the dentist down there. She's like, "No, no, no, I'm gonna take you to the dentist," and she took me across. I was like, "All right," you just like down in Mexico, you just
It's
do it, and you just go like
It's
you got
so
the
popular,
appointment.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so popular. I mean, so many people that I know, like they take their animals down there. They go to the dentist, like you said, they
Mhm.
go to see the doctor. Like it's it really is so common, so normal, at least in my life and the people around me. Even for my mom, like, who barely speaks Spanish, like, she would tell me, like, oh, like, let's go down there, let's go to the pharmacy down there, let's go eat, like, and she doesn't speak any Spanish. And so for like people like that, it's like, that's kind of when it shows you, like, okay, well, this is really just life, living close to a border.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I'm so glad you explained that so well, because a lot of people won't understand it, but it is safe. There, like, I just tell people, it's like anywhere you go in the world, if you look for trouble, you're gonna find trouble. Paul, let's finish off with this. I heard you're a jokester. I heard you're the king of dad jokes. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Tell me some dad jokes.
Oh man, okay. I mean, I could get some really. The first ones that come to my head are just bad ones, man. They're
Let's
really
go.
dirty.
We gotta start with the bad ones.
Oh no, I can't. All right. Well, I'll say one. Why did the mushroom get invited to the party?
Why did the mushroom get invited to the party? Because
he's a fun guy.
Okay.
They said,
okay.
Why did the star get up in the middle of the night?
Want to be a superstar? Did I get it right?
No. Because he had a twinkle.
Oh my god,
dude, those are bad, man. Those are bad. But the
chiropractor. Is this how you sweep your fiance off her feet?
No, definitely not. But I would tell her jokes, and then I told her I'd tell her a joke a day, and it probably lasted like 3 days, and that was it.
That was it.
And now she can't stand my jokes. She hates them. But yeah, the chiropractor of the national team, who has been around the national team forever. Whenever we get into camp, he always asks me, "Hey, you got any new jokes?" So we usually kind of share some of our jokes and kind of see which ones stick, which ones not. Yeah, so funny. I don't know why I get a laugh out of those.
That's amazing. Thank you for the jokes. Thank you for doing this. Paul, I want to wish you nothing but success with FC Dallas and the U.S. men's national team, because I know how hard you've been working and everything you've done, man. So it's really an honor to talk to you. It's really, appreciate you taking the time to do this with me.
Thanks, I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for having me. Really enjoyed my time with you. You're awesome. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Guys, Paul Arriola, U.S. men's national team, and your newest FC Dallas DP player. Thank you, Paul. And for everybody listening, make sure to watch this on YouTube. You can watch this on YouTube, watch the videos. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to give this a 5-star rating. For Paul, this is Joe. We'll catch you.